Hi everybody, welcome back. We are going to continue on with our Home Again project by Cartabella. This is a design team project for Country Craft Creations. You can get all the supplies there. I'm using the collection. I've got the frames and tags. I've got this beautiful beaded trim, the black and white check, and the black and the moss green and this pretty cafe au lait color seam binding to work with. And I'm using black, Kraft, and linen artisan cardstock as well as the collection. Okay, so when we left off last time, we'd made all of our pages. We just had one page that needed something done to it. So let me show you what I decided for that. So here's the pages as we go through that are all done. It was the back of this page that needed something. And then we have this one and this one. So let me show you. This is what I decided on for this one. I'll get these out of the way. All right. So I am going to mat it with this light wood green, just the whole page. I'm not doing any flap or anything. And then I took one of the 4x6 cut-aparts and I matted it on the dark wood green. I'm just going to center it on there. And then if you want, you could glue it just on the 3 sides and make a little tuck spot here. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know as I'll ever actually tuck anything in there, but it's nice to have the option. So I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this down first, and then I'll put the whole assembly down. I'm just eyeballing it. Make sure I've got it upright. Okay, so this is the side I don't want glue on, where I've got all my fingers here. And the reason that's the side I chose is that that's the side that's going to face out from the book and not in towards the spine, so it'll be easier to get things in and out of there if I want to, if I do it this way. I'm just eyeballing this. Just about like that. Looks good. Okay, and now I'm going to take the whole thing, make sure I've got it upright. Obviously this is extremely directional. That's going to go there. Like that. My little white work piece of paper so that I could see what I'm doing. I don't even know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. Well, that came out fine. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now all 4 of our pages are done. So this one faces this one. Okay, now alright, so my spine piece is 10 by 7 7/8. Okay, you will find if I'm making a 4-page album, that's generally always going to be the measurement is 10 inches by whatever height I need. Just getting out my scoreboard. Now, the spine of this album I had to cut at 2.5, which is also about standard for most of my albums that have 4 pages. It doesn't have to be. It could be smaller. There'd be plenty of room. The reason I go with that measurement is I like plenty of room between the pages and the front and back covers so that I can do waterfalls or dimensional tags or something like that. So what we need to do is score at 2 inches. Then you want to score 3/8 of an inch over, so that's 2 3/8. Then you want to do a 1/2 inch, So that is 2 7/8. And then another 1/2 inch, which is going to be 3 3/8. And then you want to do 3/8, which is 3 3/4. And you want to do 1/2 inch again, that's 4 1/4. 1/2 inch again, which is 4 3/4. 3/8, which is 5 1/8. Then 1/2 and 1/2, so that's 5 5/8. 5 7/8, I think. No, that was 5 5/8. That would be 6 1/8, excuse me. Right. And then 3/8 from there, so that'll be 6 1/2. This board, I always jump out of the line. Okay, so where are we at? I've got 1, 2, 3 pages, so I need 1/2 and 1/2, so that's 7. 7 1/2. And then 3/8 from there is 7 7/8. Okay. If you're ever wondering with mine how I score, I always do 2 inches, or almost always, unless I'm doing a different kind of hinge, but 2 inches, then 3/8, 1/2 1/2 for each page, 3/8 between the pages, 1/2 1/2 for the next page, and so on. When you get to the last pair of halves, then one more 3/8, and then whatever's left, which is 2 or hair over 2. This is actually exactly 2 would be 9 7/8, but there's no point in cutting that. You might as well just cut 10. Okay, now let's put in our tape. Straightening out this tape. All right, so on the back, where you have the bumps, you want to put a piece of 3/8 inch score tape, or you can use glue for this step, but I am using score tape. And one of each of the 1/2 inch pairs of spaces. So where you've got 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, just put a piece of score tape in one of those. Oops, being awkward there. Good heavens. Pardon my nails. I am getting my house ready to put it on the market, so doing lots of things around the house, and they're a hot mess. Okay. Got covered in paint as well. Okay. There we go. All right, there's that. Now on the other side, let's turn it over. All right, so what's going to happen? Okay. All right, these are gonna, hang on, I just want to kind of show you briefly. All right, we'll get back to these. Those, I'm just going to do one so you can see. Did I do that right? Oh, fuck. Hang on. Kind of blind, so, oh. Hang on. So we're going to have these fins like this, right? Sticking up, just like that. So on this side, where you've got your 1/2 inch, just like you just did, but instead of putting it on only one, you're going to put it in both. That's what will attach your pages into the book. And I know we've done this a lot, but I'm not sure. It's been a while since I explained that, so I thought I'd show you that again. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Yikes. I'm going to pull this up. Use 1/4 inch. Okay, damaging that a little bit. It'll be fine. Let me grab some 1/4 inch. I hope I have some. is. Okay, the reason I want you to use 1/4 inch is I don't want it to show below the pages. So use 1/4 inch tape for this side and put it up near the fold. Because when you put your pages in, they're not going to go all the way down to the base, and you don't want any tape sticking out below them. That. This is in all of the 1/2 inch spaces. You could use 3/8 if you want, but I just think it's easier to use 1/4. Far less chance of it showing. And of course, you don't have to use any tape at all if you don't want. You could use glue. I personally like to use tape for this stage because if I do have a problem getting the page in or I make a mistake, I can get it out. But with art glitter glue, it's forever. Once it's in, it's in. You're not getting it out. Well, I suppose you could get it out, but you're going to damage a lot of stuff and have to remake a lot of stuff. Okay, so that's what you need to have on this side. That's the side with the divots, okay, from where you're scored. All right, now let's go back to this side. You're going to have a 2 inch space, then you're going to have a 3/8 inch space. Those are just spacers, okay? Then you're going to have your 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and then there's another 3/8, and you're going to put a piece of 1/4 inch tape in that one. Okay. That, and then in each of these 3/8 inch spaces, just the 3 that are between, like in here, not the ones out here. Okay, now that's that. Let me go ahead and burnish all this tape. Okay. So then the next area is that where you need tape is this total outer area from the edge all the way in and past this 3/8 inch line. But we'll do that after. So what we are going to do, we might as well start with this one, is fold your 1/2 inch sections together and create those fins, okay? Actually, 4. Score. Stand it upright. Okay. So you're ending up with these fins that have tape on either side of them. Okay. Picking these up because I just heard Jolly come into the room and she loves those. Okay. And let's do the last one. And these have all this tape on them. They're kind of stiff, but just do your best. Burnish it really well. Okay. And then you really want to work these, burnish them, get them nice and flexible. The more flexible your fins are, the more flexible your pages are going to be. Now, the only areas, like I said, we need to add tape are these two wide sections. And for those, I am going to use my score tape sheets. You, of course, can use whatever score tape you have. I don't really recommend glue. There we go. Okay, made a hot mess of that. Okay. Now, here's my book. Again, you're going to use your cutting guide and the video on how to make covers. Just use the cutting guide that is available, linked down below. It's free, of course, and make your cover according to the measurements in there, and my video under Construction Basics is a playlist about how to make your cover, and go ahead and make your cover. And then we are going to attach this centered side to side and top to bottom on our cover. So the way I like to do this is just lay it in there till it looks right about how I want it, and then take a pencil and draw myself a straight line. And I don't mark the top and bottom because it would probably show. But once I have the side to side, I'm just going to go ahead and peel off this first piece of tape. And I'm going to line it up with that line that I just drew. And again, I'm going to make sure it's top to bottom how I want it. And this does not have to be, you know, microscopically perfect. You do want it straight, but as far as top to bottom, if it's got a little more on the top or a little more on the bottom, it's not a huge deal. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. By only taking off some of the tape to start with just makes it easier to handle. I used to take all the tape off and then plop the whole thing down, and got myself into trouble more than once that way. Now I do it this way. Okay. And I did not trim my corners. I don't know if I have to or not. It's something I almost always do, and it's also something I almost always forget to do before I put it in the book, but it's no big deal. Okay, here we go. Then you want to work your bone folder in to the space between your front and back covers and the spine, and get those bent up. This book feels huge to me. This is not a size I work with very often. But it just seemed like the right size for this particular project. Okay, there we go. Looks good. Now is the time to take a look at your corners of your cover. See if there's any one that you like or dislike more. Make that the back. And let's grab our pages. Alright, let's see. Again, I have not trimmed these corners, but I don't know if I need to. so much going on with this. There we go. It went on pretty easily without trimming the corner, so I think we'll leave it. It's kind of nice, actually. Usually I like to start with the back. I already got this one on. Let's just go ahead. All right, so what I did is I put it on there to make sure it fit. Then I lifted up one end and partially pulled off the tape. And now I'm putting it back down, leaving it up just a hair from the bottom. And pull out the tape. There we go. And do make sure your pages are right side up when you're doing this. You will be very sorry if you haven't. I've done it that more than once. You've all seen it. And then you just want to reach in there with some sort of pokey tool. Get the other side of the tape out. And there we go, page 1. Now I'm going to go back here and do the last page, which is this one. Same thing, I'm just going to slide this page on, make sure everything looks good. I'm lining it up, make sure it's straight with that other page. Pull part of the tape off, slide it back down, leave myself a little bit of a gap at the bottom. Pull that out, and there we go. Tell you what, one thing about having these fully matted before they go in the book is it makes the book seem like it's so close to being done as soon as you get those pages in. There we go. Okay, and then this one. It's an easy one. There's not too much going on with this one. I say an easy one, I probably just jinxed myself. I'll put it in backwards or upside down or some such nonsense. Okay, good. Just realized I've got it pretty close to me. Hope you can see. So you can see I'm pulling that tape part way off. Slide the page back down, but not all the way. Leave yourself a little gap. Make sure it's in the right place up at this end. And then go ahead and pull your tape. Okay. And take your tool, reach in there, and get this other piece of tape out. Of course, there we go. So pretty. This is just such a pretty collection. Okay. All right. And then this one is going to go like this. Go. Good. There we go. All of our pages are done and in our book. All right. Looking good. It's a nice size book. Feels good. Spine. I have I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to be doing with the inside, front, and back cover, but we're going to do those in the next video. So next time around we will do our inside, front, and back covers, and I don't think that's going to take too long, but we'll see if we get anything else done in that video. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm cleaning up while I talk to you. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe and share. All those things really help the channel. Also, this is a design team project for Country Craft Creations using this beautiful Home Again collection by Cartabella. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.